I'm here with my friend Peggy, and just the other day I discovered that she had received this sewing machine from her stepmother and is afraid of it. Is this true?
I'm very afraid.
Well, this is the thing with Peggy. She knows how to do everything. So when I learned that she didn't know how to sew, I thought that's actually ridiculous. And I thought for a second about not teaching her because then Peggy will know how to do everything.
True. Thanks, I think.
All right, so Peggy, you've never opened this.
No.
No? We're gonna open it. Are you ready?
I don't know.
All right, so we're opening this sewing machine. And the thing about sewing machines, Peggy, is they're all different. Okay. But they all come, oh, there it is.
Is this a good one? Is this a bad one?
This is a fantastic sewing machine. It probably costs around $500 or $600. Jackpot. But the thing is, you can actually buy like a $150 sewing machine or a $100 sewing machine for everything we're going to talk about today. And so the thing about sewing is if you can sew a straight line, you can do so many things for your home. Okay. I was at one of my favorite boutiques the other day and I saw a set of 6 cocktail napkins for $48. And I thought to myself, you can make that on your sewing machine. So it's just straight lines, honestly. So you can save a lot of money. So we're gonna take this bad boy out of its case. And the first thing, obviously, you need to do with your sewing machine is kind of get to know it. What most people are afraid of is threading your sewing machine.
Terrified.
And so that's actually all you need to do to get started. But the beauty of every sewing machine is it comes with an instruction manual. And so that is going to tell you how to actually thread the machine. Okay. And honestly, oh yes, on this machine it's perfect because you can see that there are little arrows showing you where to actually put your thread. Okay. So you're a very smart woman. Yes, I think you can do this. Okay. So one of my favorite projects, and I love to give these as gifts actually, is these coasters. So I just pick up different little fabrics or use scrap fabric and make these coasters. And it's basically by cutting a 5.5 by 5.5 square, sewing it on the inside, flipping it out, and then doing a little top stitch. And a top stitch is this little seam around to just make it look finished. Again, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, all straight lines. So the important thing to know also about sewing is there's a few basic tools you need. So one of my favorite tools is this rotary cutter, and I have also a cutting board. I actually have a few different sizes of these cutting boards. But what you do basically is line your fabric up, then you just use this board to anchor your fabric while you cut the seam. And voila, awesome. Clean seam or clean cut every time in the size that you want. Okay. So that's how I am able to cut 5.5 by 5.5 squares very easily. So these coasters have 2 different fabrics, and I like to just coordinate different things.
Was that enough to make one over there?
This probably is enough to make one coaster. You would actually cut this in half in a smaller square. Okay. And then what goes between the coasters, or between the 2 fabrics, is just a piece of flannel. Great. And that's what gives the coaster its sort of, sturdiness. So that is how we do that. Okay. Another thing I love to give as gifts are cocktail napkins. And
give me some. I'm supposed to sew them. Okay.
So it's really easy to make a cocktail napkin. I basically cut these into about a 12 by 12 size because that is a little bit smaller than like a dinner napkin would be. And the thing about sewing, and we've talked about a lot of shortcuts on this show with painting and things like that, but the thing with sewing is if you invest the work up front, your things are going to turn out much better. So you want to measure and then measure again and then cut carefully. And then you want to do your due diligence ironing and pressing. And for me, I don't mind that.
You're good at ironing,
I love ironing. I love it. It's kind of weird. But so basically what I've done is I've ironed down the hem of these napkins so that when I go to sew it, it's just going to be a nice, easy seam for me to make. Yep. It's easy breezy. Okay. And then I've actually made one ahead of time for us here. But basically, so see, I've got the double. So when you hem things, you want to do actually a double fold. So you don't want the raw edge showing on the back side.
Okay.
Because it's important, as my mom always told me, for your back to look as neat as your front. So I've actually sewn this napkin and basically use just a little zigzag stitch. And so it's got more of a detail to it. So that's a nice thing. Your machine, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of different stitches that you have on here. And that's simply the twist of a dial.
That's all you do to make it do a different thing as these?
Yep.
Okay.
So we've got the coasters, the cocktail napkins. One of my other favorite projects that I do, one thing I love to sew with is felt. Because I love felt, but you don't need to you don't actually need to hem it or finish the edge. So these are Valentines I make for my kids, classmates every year. And it's simple. I just basically took a paper bag, made a heart shape out of it, traced it onto the felt, and I do, obviously 2 pieces of felt, but it makes this cute little pouch. And I then use a pinking shears to cut around the outside. That's what gives it this like zigzaggy shape. Stuff it with treats.
So you just sewed along the bottom here?
Just along the bottom.
Okay.
Just along the bottom. And then I fill it with amazing little treats and tie it up and actually have my kids write out a tag for each of their classmates, and this is their Valentine.
Who wouldn't love to get that?
I would love to get that.
I know, make one.
All right, Peggy, you ready to get started?
I guess, yeah. Help me. Help me.
We're gonna do
stay.
it.
Don't leave.
I won't leave. We're gonna do it. All right, it's the big moment. Peggy's gonna sew.
I'm ready.
You're gonna be really great at this, actually. Okay, so we've lowered the presser foot. We've put our needle into the fabric. I need you to press the foot pedal, and you're going to sew right now. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, press it down.
Okay.
Press. You actually have to press it. There it is. And I kind of just guide the fabric as I go. Perfect. Keep going.
Yay.
Keep pressing. More. And then we reinforce our seams at the end by doing a reverse stitch. Keep pressing. Okay. And we're done. Stop now.
We have a straight line.
We have a straight line. All right. I just taught Peggy how to sew. And she's fantastic at everything. Now she has another thing to add to her repertoire, but this was really easy. Anybody can sew. Peggy, it's official. You're good at everything now.
Not true, but thanks. I'm excited.
Thanks for letting me help you do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to make great things. Thanks for watching The Happy House.